Hi there, and welcome to the first ever YouTube effort from me, Shane Chebsey, and this is my review channel, and it's called Comics Unscarred, and it's talking about comics and also movie reviews. I haven't got a background screen or anything like that yet, or a logo. This is my very first attempt. So please excuse uncomfortable pauses and stuff like that, but anyway, we're going to go ahead. And the last film I saw was X-Men Apocalypse. And what was my feelings about that? Well, my feelings about that were quite mixed, actually. I thought it was pretty good for the most part. I really enjoyed certain scenes. There were some great individual moments in the film. But overall, I felt that Apocalypse didn't really come across very well as a villain. I should also mention that this is a spoiler review. Because I'm going to talk about plot points in the movie that you may not have seen, and somebody's walking past my house while I'm filming. Anyway, so don't carry on watching if you've not seen the film, or if you actually care about what's going to happen. So yeah, I am also holding the camera. I'm not set up very well yet, but I'm having a go. So Apocalypse didn't come across very well. I thought his voice was a bit odd. They tried to overdub lots of different versions of the same voice and double record, and it just sounded a little bit hammy, to be honest. But some of the younger characters came across really well. I really liked Cyclops, a little bit more headstrong before he, found that leadership role. And I really liked what they did with Storm. It was quite limited, but they started to develop the character a little bit. I thought that Mystique was great in the film. A lot of people say, "Oh, why has she got such a major role? She's not a major X-Man. She's a villain." Blah 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 blah. But she is a major character. If you read the comics or if you've ever watched the cartoons or anything like that, Mystique's always been quite an important character. Not an A character, maybe not at the point that she is in the movies, but she's a major character in X-Men mythology. So I don't see why people have a problem. And so what if she wasn't before? Because she works. She works as a plot device. She's a shape changer. So she's a good character to have in that role. So I've got no problem with that, and I think that it works. What was the other characters? Nightcrawler. I thought Nightcrawler looked really cool, and worked visually. They did some great teleporting scenes. He's a very likable character as well. He's sort of a man out of his comfort zone. He's away from his normal environment. They managed to express that quite well. James McAvoy was great as always as Professor X. Probably actually the best version I've seen of his Professor X so far. There's a great little, you can't even call it a cameo. It's a whole scene really with Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, which works great. I really liked the way he was portrayed as Weapon X. I thought that was great. Some of the action sequences, cannot fault them. The set pieces, really good. So yeah, I mean, lots and lots to like in the film, but the central part that failed for me was the villain. Apocalypse is he's very powerful, but they couldn't make their minds up how powerful he was. One minute he's, destroying people with a flick of the fingers, and the next minute he's just hitting people and they're just being knocked across the place and they're not even, going unconscious. So what's going on there? So yeah, there's inconsistencies in his power levels. This could be explained away, by his power is limited by his concentration. At one point, he was fighting a battle on 3 fronts, so that's going to actually affect his effectiveness. So effective is effectiveness. That's hard to say. So yeah, he's fighting Professor X in his mind. He's fighting Cyclops. He's fighting Magneto, all at once. So yeah, that's gonna limit him. And actually, the scene where they dealt with Apocalypse, where Jean Grey, has finally realised her potential and let go, it was pretty good scene, quite powerful. So overall, I enjoyed the film. I think it's better than the last one because I thought that was a complete a mess. I thought the new young characters, the young Cyclops, the young Storm, Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, those characters were really cool. I didn't think they got Angel right again. They always seem to get Angel wrong for some reason. I don't think it was really a good portrayal of Warren Worthington, if indeed it was Warren Worthington, because once again the timelines are now completely messed up. Because yes, they said Last Stand is no longer within continuity, but it's still part of that reality. It's just a different timeline that doesn't exist anymore. So strangely, there's a young Warren Worthington in around 2000, and there's a young Warren Worthington in 1985 or whatever it is. So that's a bit odd. Also with Jubilee, they messed up there because there's a young Jubilee in 1993, 95, whatever. There's also a young Jubilee in 1985. So is that her auntie? Is that her mum? What's going on? You know, it's almost as bad as what they did with Emma Frost. So the timeline is still a mess. The characters' personal timelines are still very messy. Um, so who cares really? You know, it was an entertaining movie, um, and it was better than the last one, but not as good as First Class in my opinion. It'd be interesting to see what they do next. Um, I've discussed on Facebook already actually about my ideas for what I'd like to see in a 90s X-Men, um, uh, which I won't discuss here and bore you with that. But I think there are some really good stories from around that era that were maybe not actually that great in the comics, but if you develop them for a movie, could work very well with certain characters as the main protagonists. And there's a chance here again to sort of reimagine characters like Colossus and Kitty Pryde. They're two of my favourite characters personally, so I'd love to see them return to the X-Men movie canon. Yeah, so overall, I pretty much enjoyed it. Sorry for the pretty non-tech version of this review. Hopefully, it will get better. Well, it will. I assure you, it will get better. Hopefully next time there'll be something behind me, and hopefully next time I'll be a little bit more prepared, and we'll talk about something else, obviously. And thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your feedback on what I've said and what my thoughts are. Do you agree? Did you think it was better than Days of Future Past? Did you think it was poor? I've seen some people saying it was, comparable to Last Stand. I think that's really cruel. Because I think Last Stand was a mess of a movie, and I don't think this was anywhere near as messy. I think it was quite cohesive as a plot, as a story. Some parts of it, maybe didn't work, but I think it was quite well held together. There was a lot of characters to get in there. Well, what did you think of how they treated the characters? Did you like the new Nightcrawler? Did you like the new Angel? I'd love to hear. Anyway, thanks for listening, and speak to you next time. Bye bye.